Hey squad, hey squad. How y'all doing? I am your girl Kaylee, the boss chick, and welcome to the corner. Happy Saturday, happy Saturday. We are on to a little bit of BS today. Definitely boss stitches that help develop who we are as bosses and who we are and how people perceive us in the world. How we, just represent out there in the world. So we know that family is our lineage, our bonds, right? Interactions that we go through, it helps shape the things that we adopt as our said systems. So it's safe to say that family, in a way, it helps. They are our situational guides. So we're gonna tap into that a little bit today, and just how to break some unhealthy habits that we've acquired along the way. Because when you know better, you do better, right? Right. All right. So today I'm bringing along one of my family members, my squad members. She'll be joining me in the corner today. She's definitely one of my day ones, more than blood. Our history is history. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be tapping into a few of those topics as well. So I want y'all to give her a warm welcome and bring her in, nicely. Before I do, you know what to do. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Let your girl know that you are in the corner with us today. All right, all right. So, squad, I introduce to you my lovely cupcake. Hey, 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 my
Hey,
pumpkin.
what's
so
up?
y'all, so y'all, this is Cupcake. She is my cousin on my mom's side. Like we are besties. We have been locked in. Like when letters was a thing of the past, we would be back and forth sending each other letters, sending our barrettes to each other just to show what we wearing at school throughout the day. Do you remember? I think I still got your green and yellow
Oh
bow.
my God, yes. The fact that you still have that touches my heart.
Yes, you my pumpkin. I love it. So we're 1 year apart. So we've definitely, been a part of each other's lives for a long, long time, and we know each other kind of in and out. Would you say?
Yeah,
Cool,
definitely.
cool, cool, cool. Now I know my cousin. I know she's a little nervous right now.
Yeah.
It's funny because we're both introverts, but we both can be loud at some point, and sometimes she can be a little louder than me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna treat her like a usual, new person to the stage. But let's get into a few icebreakers, all right?
All right, all right.
So we're gonna play word association, family edition. When I show you this family, I want you to tell me the first word that pops into your mind.
Oh, geez.
Oh, we got another one popping in. Hey fam.
Oh my
Definitely
God.
Definitely tune it. Like type in some answers to some of these questions that we're gonna get into because we want to hear your insight too. We the three amigos. All right, so the first family up we have. I know you better remember this one. Gullah Gullah Island.
Oh my God. Those are vibes. Those are vibes. Like, that is every time that you would get out of school, you would sit down and you would watch that. You'd have your snacks in front of you. That was a vibe.
Listen, I would definitely try to say, Mom, I'm a little sick today because I want I want to tune in to Gullah Island today. But of course I couldn't tell her that. Couldn't tell her that.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Family Matters.
Oh my gosh. Family matters. That's wholesome. That's the yeah.
Wholesome. Gotcha.
Yeah. That was the
Okay.
family that you wanted growing up. Like, if you was ever going through stuff with your family, you'd be like, y'all don't act like the family on Family Matters. Slam the door.
For real, for real. Like you definitely got life skills out of watching their episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. Keenan and Kel.
Keenan and Kel, crazy. Oh my God. That brings back all the like silly shtick memories, which at the same time at this point is a little bit we not gonna talk about the.
Right,
We're
right.
not going to talk about the, but quiet on the set is all I got to say.
Definitely. Uh, Quinn said he said it's classic,
It
classic.
is a classic.
All
Yeah.
right, all right. Who else we got? Moesha.
Oh my God, Moesha. That was drama. Oh my goodness.
I'm,
It
I'm glad you
was.
say that. I'm glad you said
Yes,
that.
it was nothing but, I mean, it wasn't the whole cast. Everybody was always into something. It's just the drama. And she was a teenager, so they had to keep up the extra stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what I did like is how they switched over and brought Dorian into the situation. That was like some real life stuff because who
Yeah,
knew? I thought you were cousin all my life, and now you brother. You
yeah,
my brother. So
yeah.
definitely, definitely real world,
It was. It was almost like a little black soap opera.
right? Right. Okay, so we got Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince. Oh my gosh, what? That's classic for real. Like, if I wanted to say, like, that's classic for real. Like, who can that was back before everything was everything, and Will just breaking into the scene, and then finding out that he wasn't really even, an actor. Like, he
Right.
did that without being an actor, and I think that that's so amazing. Like, it inspires me.
A journey within itself. You see the growth, especially
Yeah.
like coming from that first beginning, yo, I'm just dancing on the scene to actually again bringing in another real world aspect where his dad came into play. Why don't he want me? Like, why
Yeah.
don't he want me? So, a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of hurt children out there in the world, unfortunately.
Definitely, definitely. I think I got two more. So let's see. I don't know if you are. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Are you a fan of Power?
Power, okay. So, I started watching the show and then I stopped watching it because I got really sidetracked with some other stuff that was coming on. So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't
I,
even like, but I know all I think about that is gang banging.
bang
'Cause-
bang. Yeah. So
right.
I would say I was late to the party. I started watching it the last season, and
Yeah.
I have not even moved on to some of the spinoffs. So
I started watching some, and that's the part that's really terrible. I started watching the beginning of some of the spinoffs and still stopped in the middle. I don't know what's wrong. I swear.
he said
But
50 Cent did his thing when he did this.
he
Really?
did.
Yeah, especially with all the
He
breakouts, you get to learn the intimate, details of different characters,
did.
past, present, future.
Yes, like, I think that he's a very talented person, and it's a really great show. I just could not the drama was there. It was exactly where it needed to be. I just
Right?
could not get myself to sit down. I have ADHD. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's
And you're excused.
it.
All right, and the last one, soul food.
Oh my god, soul food. Oh my god. That's heartbreaking. Don't you ever show me that movie again. It's I love how it came together at the end and it shows the dynamics of the family, which is true. It is true. It's been proven in both sides of my family actually, where you lose the matriarch in the household and then things like a Sunday dinner,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't
As,
come
as,
together
as
anymore.
simple as a Sunday dinner does
Yeah.
not happen. Like, it definitely changes the dynamics and how frequently people get together and congregate and actually bond and
Yeah.
grow. So it's definitely something to take a look into.
Yeah.
It really touches the soul. Jasmine says she loves the movie, and Quinn says it really touches the soul. That's right. Um, so yeah, so we're a little warm now. We done broke the
Yeah.
ice a little bit.
I feel a
Good,
little
good.
bit better.
All right, all right. So let's get into it. I think we've had definitely a lot of conversations about family dynamics, and especially our own in the part that we share, and then outside our other sides.
Yeah.
For yourself, what role do you think that you play in your family dynamic?
Oh my God. Currently, I am the avoider. I'm the person who shows up to the party for 5 seconds and then leaves because I just, I'm avoiding, but not on purpose. It's not because I don't love them. It's because I literally have my own life. That's just what I have going on.
You
But I
know,
need
I
to
know.
do better at that. I know that you know.
So I think we talked about. I think I it was in the middle of the pandemic, and I think I reached out to the family in the group chat, and I was like, I think I really have social anxiety. Like I can function for a little while, but in at some point I feel anxious. I feel myself, kind of drawing back in, and I have to get in my little bubble. And like you said, that's no offense to anybody. It's just too many conversations, too many people,
Yeah.
also the lingering expectations of you that you assume. So let,
Yeah.
let's let's get into that. Like, what expectations do you think have been put on you?
Like in regarding to my family,
Hmm.
definitely being overachiever, constantly hardworking, I know that a big expectation growing up was being of certain religions, just having to be in a box of pretty much being seen and not heard
Definitely.
and spoken unless you have been spoken to. So, yeah.
Okay. So I think we have definitely jailed on that part. A lot of people, we're like I think we're both in the middle since like we're around the same age. It's like y'all just be quiet, y'all just listen, y'all do this, do as you're told. So it's a lot of times if we don't feel like we are heard. I know I do. So that's why I practice and preach, you know, using your voice and voicing your concerns and your opinions now is more important now than ever. Sounds Jasmine says
Yeah.
sounds familiar. Queen says shy self, yeah. For the both, for real. So let's get into we could talk about ours, but generally just the makeup of family, like mothers and fathers starting at the foundation. Uh what is the ideal mother role? And what is the ideal father role?
Oh, that's such a hard question this day and age. But
Isn't
I would say that if we're gonna go with the generic mother and father for real, then I would say that the generic mom would be a mom who cares for the spouse, and shows them love and support because that's what the kids are going to see as an example of relationships and goals, and also cares for the children, um, in which, making sure that they feel guided and loved and supported, making sure that they understand that it's hard, to live, but you are able to get by having strength within yourself. You know,
right?
so that's how I feel. But I also feel that way for the dad as well. The
Hmm.
same exact thing. You know.
And situational, like of course they won't be able to kind of understand what it is to be a woman, but you also have your side where you can exemplify those same factors on
Mhm.
this side as well. So so those are the ideal, but let's think realistically, and we could pull from personals or if you want. So mother, love Loretta, love
Yeah.
her. Tell us about her. What made her so
Um,
special?
I think what made her special was just the fact that she truly did want you to succeed. She wanted you to feel loved. She made you feel special, especially on occasions that centered around you, like your birthday. She made those days extra special.
Yeah.
She would set up adventures for each of us to do, like ones that she had 3 kids, so she had to separate time for each of us,
Mhm.
things that she knew that we would enjoy. Like for me, she would take me out to eat, to go to get Chinese food or something like that. And we'd go swimming, something small, but cool. And then she was the person who also organized being with other family and sharing that
Mhm.
love with everybody.
Bridging the gap. Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So my Uncle Junior is what makes him unique.
Well, I feel like really his ability to compartmentalize, if we know that we have a trip or something like that, like being able to be the planner. Like he was
Okay.
more like the planner and the okay, this is what our specific schedule has to be so that we can get to where we need to go. But also supporting our really crazy ideas, like when I wanted a go-kart when I was like 13
Yeah.
years old and he decided that he was going to support that decision
All
100%.
right.
Right.
Daredevils.
Exactly. So it just um honestly being a person that you can depend on when it comes to like supporting your crazy idea.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you need that instead of saying no, you can't do that because you carry that into life and you're like, I really can't do this because at one point somebody told me I couldn't. So
Yeah.
so
Instead his
definitely
challenge would be let's figure out how we gonna do this.
right. Okay, I love it. I love it. So in that same instance, I think my mom she encompassed a lot of all of that, and me being a single child in her household the fun factor for me was being able to have you guys during the summer and then she be able to create those little like you said adventures and things that make us all feel good. She'll get out there and play with us as well, so I loved how supportive and hands on she was when it came to that side. My dad we know that he's a good talker.
Yeah.
He's a talker. So it was always interesting. I took the time to actually listen and learn who he is through the stories that he would tell me. So being able knowing that he can communicate that taught me some of my communication factors or even looking at some of the areas that I may have felt that were a little lack, it taught me in my now adulthood what I can do better. Quincy, he loved come over and bothering both of us. Jasmine said, "Daddy will talk your ears out." Listen,
Yeah.
y'all had to sit up there with him during graduation. I'm glad I didn't. so, so yeah, so we take things that the family, our mothers and fathers have shown us, done with us to pull and become better human beings.
Mhm.
So let's get into these immediate family members and extended. So immediate, you have your mother, father, your siblings. How did they kind of shape who you are today?
I think that they shaped who I am by honestly, I took a lot of the stuff that I do from my dad. I think like how I interact with my family, which is very sparsely, unfortunately, how I remember things like my memory issues and stuff like that. I feel like I don't know if maybe it's because I didn't see him plan through his problems, but like he could plan, but like he had to write these things down,
Okay.
right? Which is I guess
Yeah.
maybe that was something that I picked up inherently without really noticing, was that he did write, some stuff down to keep
Yeah.
stuff. I think that how I actually love my family when I'm with them and being around them, I got a lot of that from my mom. Just how silly that she was and quirky that she was every time that I act like that, definitely shaped how I am in that way. My sister, because she was kind of like my mom growing up,
Right.
she ended up changing my point of view into a more realistic ideal. I would say that because I'm a Gemini. I'm very flighty and light and just, So she brought me down to earth
Okay.
heavily growing up, so that I
The
was able.
balance.
Yeah, she balanced me. And my brother just kept me, especially during the times when I had hit adulthood and it was just like, wow, this is real life right now. Really kept me in a, I would say, lighter mood set, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about extended? Like I know that we all kind of fall a little short when it comes to reaching out to certain people. And I feel like it's because when we're young, we kind of latch on to the ones that we resonate with a little bit more. So when it comes to reaching out as adults, it's a little different because we're not in that space anymore. But we'll get back to that part. But the ones that you have latched on to and keep close from the extended family, how have they shaped you?
I feel like I'm a more responsible person when it comes to the commitments that I agree to when I say that I'm going to actually do something, but especially because of you, you know, because I look very highly to how you keep your schedule and make sure that you are about your business and stuff like that. So, I feel like that's something that really shaped how I think that I have to be like, damn, well, if I'm gonna work with her on this, then I need to make sure that I'm about my business about this. Like, I need to get up, I need to set an alarm, I need to write down notes. Okay.
Okay, okay. And I'm glad you said work with me because hint hint, she's also a writer, you guys. So we'll eventually get back into that one day whenever she says that she wants to continue. Yeah, I put that out there. Yeah. Put that in the atmosphere.
I love you
So
for that.
you're welcome. Now, y'all can definitely go check on I think it was 2020. I read one of her short stories for the 30 Days of Halloween series. It was kind of like a good a good scary, like a thriller. So if y'all into thriller, please go read that one. I'll leave it in the comments for y'all somewhere so y'all can go check it out. But she's definitely a dope writer and it comes naturally.
Oh, I appreciate that.
All
I'm
right.
blushing.
Okay. Anybody else on your mom's side, especially the ones that I've come in contact with. Curtis, he's
Oh my
definitely a player,
God.
a huge player in your.
Yeah, honestly, he taught me to be more of a human because I was not like growing up, which is weird to say out loud, you know what I mean? Like I was not a human. What were you, an alien? Like
All right,
like
Wayne, Lil
right?
Wayne.
Like I am a Martian. But definitely I feel like I just um wasn't very, maybe it's the younger kid syndrome or something, you know. So I
Okay.
was very nice to him. I would kind of see him like, why is he here all the time? Which I know now why he was there all the time, like he needed to be. It was a safe
Yeah.
space. But
Yeah.
I would just be like, God, why does he have to come with us on everything? So I would treat him like he was the stepchild, you know.
Ah,
Yeah. And so I learned to, be a better person as I got older. I realized, that I was like, what are
yeah,
you doing, child? So obviously, when I got older, I apologized to him, and he was just like, "What? We were children. You're a
definitely.
kid."
And now looking back, I can see that growth because like you said, you were like, why does he have to, to be here at the trip for the
Mhm.
4th of July? And then I got to see closer to you about to graduate from high school, how you also turned into like a mother figure at the same time. So
Yeah.
seeing the dynamics, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love him. I would love to be around him any day of the week. I just feel like I was a brat.
All right, Jay Curtis. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, okay. So let's think. A lot of people definitely do the whole mother versus father side,
Hmm.
and I love all of my family, but
Hmm.
I know I am definitely leaning more like more bonding with my mother's side, and not saying that I don't have some on my dad's side, but I think I talk to more aunts and uncles on my mom's side than I do on my dad's side. And I'm not trying to be ashamed of it, but this is a space where we can kind of figure out how to kind of create that balance on each side.
Yeah.
Where do you think you fall, mother or father side more?
I feel like more on my father's side, and a lot of it's just the fact that my mom's side of the family, there's a lot of real negative drama that happens over there. So it makes it hard for me to stick around, and It's not everybody, you know.
Right.
But
And
it's
I
just.
think we find that on I think everybody has a something, some
Mhm.
type of personality on each side. Just like they always say, somebody had a meme where they said it's always a Freddie or a Larry in the family.
Mhm.
Somewhere. It's always a Freddie or Larry. Like that's
Yeah,
I guess a common name for that generation.
yeah. But I do have a Freddie and a Larry on
On
either
both sides.
side.
I have a Larry on both sides. So that it's a common name. Now, personality wise, we can definitely get into to those. We all
Mhm.
have one of those. Some people will like say like the black sheep or the favorites. You can
Mhm.
kind of pinpoint those in certain family dynamics on both sides. I know I can on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely can for sure. Like with my mom's side, that's a lot of the issues with the infighting is because the black sheep side of the family fighting against what would have been the idolized, part of the family. And I hate it because I love both of those entities within my mom's side of the family. Like they are all my
Right.
family, right? But
Right.
because of all of that and how hard it is to kind of communicate with one without someone coming back and saying to you, "Why are you hanging out with them?" I just,
Yeah.
you know,
So
yeah.
I will say like going out to my dad's house or visiting like my grandmother on that side,
Hmm.
it was a it was two or three that stayed in the same area. So when I went, those were the ones that I, connected with and bonded with. So
Hmm.
seeing the other ones, the older ones, is like, I'm a little scared to talk to this one because I don't know this person. So
Hmm.
now growing up, I still talk to that set of ones that I grew up with. How do you go about introducing yourself now to that set of people? Like how
Uh,
does that happen?
I feel like it starts with any other conversation. Like if you were trying to date somebody, even,
Mm,
like you just say, "Hey, you know, except for this time, it's long time no talk. I
okay.
miss you. We're family. Let's just try to organize something. Let's actually organize something, not just say that we're gonna organize something. Let's pull up the itinerary. Let's
Right.
go ahead and put down some money on some travel plans."
Right. I'm you know me, I'm open for all of it, but at the same time, when you say you hear those little inklings and you hear those sidebar conversations, certain
Mhm.
people might perceive it a certain way, because I've heard that, oh, she's a little funny acting, or I don't
Mhm.
fool with her. So when you hear those things, do you even feel like you want to have those conversations? Do we even pursue?
Well, I mean, I feel like that should make you. It's hard to, okay. It's hard to. The human thing is to feel defensive about that, which I get. And that's exactly how you should feel, because how are you going to assume anything about me, who I am, what I want to do, right? But at the same time, don't let it discourage you from wanting to touch out to these people, reach out to have that connection with them, because you could completely remove whatever kind of confusion that there was. It could have been the whole time they thought that you were funny acting, the whole time you've just been depressed and you've been
Hmm.
feeling alone and you needed to reach out to somebody, but you felt like you didn't want to interfere with them, right?
Hmm.
Like they don't know what you're going through, so you have to share it with them.
Exactly. It's like you can see what you see looking through a glass, but you don't know what's really behind that glass. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I definitely think that's a good way to kind of look at it, to, and like you said, start those conversations as if you're meeting a new person for the first time and go from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's bring it back over to this side. So I feel like our aunts and uncles, I feel like they're used to having those roles and doing the planning and doing, all of this. We're grown now. How you feel about us starting some planning?
I think that it's high time for that to happen because we have new ideas and things like that. And also, we have money we have to put toward these things. So we need to be a part of the discussion. We need to be a part of every aspect of that, which I think that one thing I will say is that I've heard of the attempt to make sure that that does happen as far as having conference calls and stuff like that. That's what I love to hear about, getting those ideas and sharing those things that could be potentially really great memories, bringing our kids together finally. Yeah.
Definitely. So I definitely think, allowing them to kind of sit and relax will help us kind of expand some of the conversations, expand some of the interactions and bonding with the newer generation. Because at a certain point, there's definitely an age gap. At some point, you lose a few people in trying to continue to do all of the same things that we used to do. Let's try to bring in some new ones too. So
Yeah.
definitely. Yep, yep,
Absolutely.
yep. So let's think philosophies now. Ideas, things like you mentioned religion at one point. So, what is some family, traditions, ideals, philosophies that you've taken into your lifestyle?
Um, that's a hard one for me because I think that I've been trying to remove a lot of those mindsets, and reset myself and figure out what I want.
Yeah,
I think that th- the only ones that I would say that are similar would be um using prayer as a daily, how I pray may be different, but it definitely is a form of prayer and connectivity to something that's higher than myself, and being aware of the fact that you are more of something that's just like you are a small part of a very big picture,
that's
essentially.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go a little lighter. So Do not pop up at my house unannounced, because you never know what I might have behind this door. That's a grandma
Oh,
that's a grandma philosophy. Don't
yeah,
don't pop up unannounced.
yeah.
Let's
Oh my
schedule it.
God.
Let's create a time frame when
Yeah. Another one that kind of coincides with that one was always don't invite people to this home without discussing with everybody in this home who is supposed to be coming over.
for real. Who all
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
there? Definitely.
yeah.
I I take mom's approach when it comes to grandma and mom when it comes to cooking. I clean up while I'm cooking so that I don't have to do it
Mhm.
at the end. At the end.
Yeah.
And I'm real territorial about my kitchen. I notice I put people out when I'm cooking.
Oh yeah, I do that too. You right. You right. I do be doing that. I do. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. I didn't really like this one at one point, but I found myself doing it. My dad told me one time I was at his house. I think I was about maybe 8 or 9,
Mhm.
and he had bought us some bumpers. So I had my little hot dog. I had my little drink, and I was going for my drink, and he was like, put that down. Don't do that. Don't drink that until after you're done." And I was looking at him like, "My mama don't tell me to do that." But
Yeah.
now I have adopted that. I find myself drinking my stuff after I've gotten like at least 75% done with my food. So
Yeah. You know what? That is such a thing that would happen all the time. Sometimes I will catch myself with other things like telling myself that I'm not supposed to say the word lie. You a lie. And I will go, you a lie. Why won't
you
I say that word?
you a story. You a
I am a
whole
full
story.
grown adult out here calling somebody a story. Come on now.
I was just talking about so I was talking about that with my coworker one day, and she was like, she used to kind of test her mom and be like, why can't I say the word lie? Why can't I say it? So she was like, I get beat for it, like, but you told me to ask questions. Why I can't ask a question? Give me a valid reason, then I'll stop
Yeah,
using it.
yeah.
It
Oh
takes
my.
her to tell that story. I'll bring her back one day so she can talk about that. But yeah, we was like, yeah, it's just certain things like how you talk with your friends, and you know how they always say, I'm not one of your little friends in them. So you have
Mhm.
grown accustomed to not talk how you would talk to your friends in front of your elders. So yeah. Now it's some people that be out here with the whole shebang, and I'm like, my mama would still smack me in my back.
Bro, I still won't really go off like the stuff that I say to my friends. I don't be saying to my dad. Okay,
Right.
it
And,
just feels disrespectful.
doesn't it? Okay, so same wavelength, same wavelength. Just being able to notice the generational and be respectful toward the generational, and actually bring some of their ideas to ours. It's a form of comfort in that way, definitely, in some way.
Yeah.
uh let's get into some of the uncomfortables, the unhealthy. So what ideals and philosophies would you deem as the unhealthy ones? Like, how do we break those generational curses?
I know that definitely one thing that I mentioned would be communication with my family. You know, the bad communication that I got um from my dad, not being able to do that. But on the lighter side of things, definitely eating fast food all of the time because he will go out and grab him something real quick. And that taught me a bad, look at me, like, come on, dad. I blame you.
Man.
No. But no, like, unhealthy eating for sure. So we love soul food, but a lot of that stuff is unhealthy. Okay.
Listen, the person who grew up with grandma who cooked these things every day, coming home
Mhm.
to neck bones, and Collard
You know,
greens
some
bad.
fried green tomatoes.
Oh, sidebar. So Robin had this question when she came home one day. She asked me, "Is spaghetti a meal by itself or not?"
Yeah. What you mean? And then you just throw in some meatballs if you want some extra meat. Go ahead and get you some bread with some garlic bread. Okay. That is
Okay, okay.
maybe a
So
salad on the side.
from your idea, we've been doing it wrong then, because you know how grandma would have the spaghetti with the the meat sauce
Hmm.
and fried chicken or fish.
I mean, ain't no, hold up. Don't you knock that because ain't nothing wrong with no fried chicken and fish with some spaghetti, okay? If you ain't ever had no fried chicken and fish with no spaghetti, then you ain't been living life, okay? You ain't been living life. I'm
Hey,
telling you that. I'm telling you right now
that's
that
what grandma fixed. She did.
yeah.
And that's probably why my back ain't unbig yet. So, but but no, we talked about. She was like, some people said that it should be spaghetti only, and you add your meat sauce and or your just the sauce, and then like you said, add meatballs, and they consider that a meal. But down in the country, we do the fish and spaghetti and the green beans. Like, cause notice when we go to uh like after a funeral or something, we have all of this spaghetti,
Mhm.
fish, or chicken, green beans, collard greens, cornbread. You have all of that, so you get a
Yeah.
little bit, get a taste, a little bit of all of that.
I mean, maybe you want more of one than the other, but regardless, like, why can't you have it all if you want it all? But also, you can have spaghetti by itself if you want it by itself. Boo boo. Do you? It's about doing you. Okay,
Right,
it's about
right.
doing you. It's food. I'm choosing all of it. Okay, if I had to choose, I didn't know that the choice was between spaghetti and like just spaghetti by itself or not.
Right.
I got to choose it all. Okay, okay.
Silly. Okay, good deal. Good deal. We got now that we got that squared away. Um, Now adding on to like one of the unhealthy things that I've seen on probably on both sides of my family when it comes to communicating. People like to sweep stuff, under the rug and try not to have those hard conversations. It got to get hard sometimes. We got to know what's wrong, and we got to know how to fix it. And people be so worried about how will it be perceived on the outside looking in. That really does not matter when it comes to how strong the foundation is in the house. It don't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you don't communicate with, especially your family, how are you supposed to survive a relationship if you can't even talk to your sister about the fact that, hey, I don't like when you pulled my hair when you braided it the other day? Okay. Like, you need to be able to have those conversations.
Definitely. So I guess we can kind of tie into ours a little bit. So I can appreciate us growing into great human beings by being able to have those tough conversations.
Yeah.
Y'all, we became roommates, college roommates for a year, and
Yeah.
then we went a couple years without speaking, and that was like the hardest. But being able to come back and actually like, hey, it's time to have that hard conversation. And we'll
Mhm.
we'll share the story at a later date if she feel like we want to do a story time or something like that. We'll do that at a later time. But it took us a couple years to actually be like, hey, we adults now. Let's talk this out.
Yeah. And it was
So
beautiful,
it was. You get more understanding when you're not in that particular emotion at the time. But like you said, you learn from your experiences and you get to see, where it went left and how to get it back right.
Yeah. Which is a great example of reconnecting with your family. Let's
Exactly.
circle it back there.
Definitely, definitely. So I like to discuss, especially like getting ready to, like you said, mentioning going into relationships. Some people already have children, and you get with the person and they have kids. how do you what would make a good co-parenting situation for a person that you about to embark on a marriage with? Like how do you even address that conversation?
Okay. So is the situation, just to clarify, that I'm co-parenting and I'm also getting married to an outside source?
Right.
Okay. I think that a big thing with that would be, well, the huge part is communication. You have to be able to communicate the rules that you and the co-parent have to your new partner, because they need to know that this is what we have discussed. We are parents of this child. You may have opinions about things, but your opinion is that it's an opinion. These are the parents, what they said that they want. These are the rules that you know you have to follow in regards to that. And you want to make sure that your co-parent is feeling safe in regards to this new person that's going to
Right.
be in their child's life all the time now. You can't just completely disregard just because it's like, well, I'm not with you anymore. No, it's not about you and them. It's not about jealousy, unless it is, in which case that's a whole other thing.
Right.
But
Right.
but if it's amicable, then really all you need to do is just make sure that they understand that this is a safe person, and the best way to do that is to have them meet and be around each other regularly. Let's
I
show the
agree.
child that this is also a person who that they can trust too.
I agree. So I feel like when the child can see that everybody is united, they don't feel like they have to make a choice. Oh, I gotta say this or I gotta say this over here. No, it's a even front with everybody going in. Tell me what it is so I can know what it ain't. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think my squad know that I'm one without children. So if I ever dated somebody with kids, tell me how y'all do it so that I can, observe how it's done so I don't step on no toes.
Hmm.
Yep, yep. So now I know my uncle is a whole fox out here. So how did he introduce you to new women? When did he introduce you to new women?
Honestly, my dad has been 100% secretive with the women that he is with, and I feel like a lot of it has to do with how quickly he changes that up in his life. Honestly, let me be real. He's only introduced me to maybe one person, and
Okay.
that person lasted five
Okay.
seconds.
Oh
Five.
wow.
It was great. It was like a week or so of me actually knowing of this person. We even went to go see a house, like we were gonna move in, together. I don't know why he took this woman on no adventure to my house. I'm not gonna lie, but he did, and I realized at that point what an f boy is. I was just like, wow, dad. I'm glad that
Liz,
we. I'm glad you're
Liz.
my dad.
Right, right. But that also lets you know what to kind of look for when you meet it, like those personality types. You get to see what it is, so you
Yeah,
know what it ain't.
because
That,
you're not about to.
and then
You're not
they
about to
always
have
say
me tour a whole
they
house.
always say like you marry somebody like your dad, or you would like to marry. Like
No
I don't,
thanks.
I don't
I don't
know,
think so.
I don't
I
know
don't
about
think
that either.
I don't know about that. I've never seen him settle down with anybody since my mom. Not a single
Yeah,
soul. You
but
know.
for you to say it's only been one person, I see he is mindful of, what's serious and what's not. And that's a
Yeah.
good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind if you cycled every single one in front of my face. I would just laugh at their face behind their back. You know, I would. I would not. I'm not gonna laugh to you. That would
Right.
hurt your feelings. That seems
Yeah.
really mean and cruel. But the laughter I would get after. Maybe that's why he doesn't, because he just knows that his daughter just is
You
not right
goofy. You real goofy.
today. Yeah.
And you don't let up. You don't.
No. What would be the need in that?
For real. I think I keep it too honest with my dad. That's why he knows what to say to me and what not to say at this point. Because
Mm.
it's like me, I'm the moral compass. The moral compass. Like I should be listening to you, but I'm not.
You know what? And usually they don't. They don't. And I'm guilty of that too. I have, listen, my own moral compass will go off and I will still be like, but why?
This sounds so much fun.
This
It-
exactly, but this would be so much more fun. Okay, for real.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, okay. So we tapped on co-parenting, family ideals. Now, like I said, I think we both kind of deal with the social anxiety sometimes. So when it comes to the
Mhm.
isolation, what is your comfort in your isolation?
My comfort in my isolation. I mean, just the knowledge that I don't have to have any type of background noise that is going to occur to any decisions that I have to make. Because when you're in a group, they want to go left. When you want to go right, I can just go right all day. Okay, I will be perfectly fine. But on a less serious note, usually my blanket wrapped around my body. Not having to wear any clothes in the house if I don't want to. You know,
Right, right.
being able to eat with no clothes on, got everything flapping around, and I got a chicken wing in my mouth, got some popcorn sitting right there, and a big old bucket of some lemonade, and there ain't a single soul who's gonna tell me that I
No,
need to do
that
a thing.
sounds like a good old time.
It is a grand old time. You don't even understand. Like, I'm talking about real life stuff right now. This is me. Like, I might have did that last week at some point. Okay, let me just be real.
I think
Okay,
I'm about to do that today. You read my life.
okay. Treat yourself.
It's
Preach.
one of those days. Like sometimes you have to unplug, and I think I kind of sometimes
Mhm,
suffer from trying to be everything for everybody, and it drains
mhm.
your little battery. It drains your little battery, and sometimes you just need that isolation. No, nothing against anybody. Nobody's mad at anybody when it comes to the radio silence. It's just sometimes you need, like you said, you need that moment to re-energize and recenter yourself.
Mhm.
Definitely. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep. I think so when talked about bloodline, what about friends? Friends who become family. With the ups and downs, the trials that we face, friends, we kind of lean on them. But
Mm.
sometimes, it get a little strained. So how do you handle those relationships when it kind of strains for the ones that, have been, connected to you and seen you through most of your growth?
I think that a lot of that is just having the ability to talk through any of those really tough situations because they are the people who probably know you the deepest. Being able to hear out what they have to say because a lot of the times they may get what you arguing about is advice that they gave you. That's probably the most best advice that you could have got about the situation. It's just too real, it's just too real and too honest. So it's just being able to hear out their side of the problem. If it's something more serious, then sometimes what you have to do is to not be friends with that person anymore. But hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully you still have that wiggle room where you can grow from.
Agreed, agreed. So, like you said, I think we do this in a lot of situations. When you hear it the first time, you hear it in offense. So you're trying
Mhm.
to trying to protect and trying to you know give your point of view and your stance on it. And then once you kind of sit in it a little bit, it's like, okay, how do we pick this apart and see the well being in it and
Mhm.
figure it out. But then, like you said, also there are other instances where your boundaries tell you, and that's a good thing to say. Figure out what your boundaries are, and figure out how far across that boundary did that person kind of go.
Yeah, because if it was not a very serious offense, then really you're just upset over the principle of the fact, and you're gonna that's the ego. You're gonna lose it over your ego right now, over
Right.
this person who's really been with you for however long, you know.
Yeah, especially, sometimes our friends can see. They can see if we're making the same mistakes over and over again. And it's like, hey,
Mhm.
pull it in, pull it in. But again, what you said, why? It feels good. So if it's feeling good,
Yeah,
you don't really see that it's a consistent mistake. And then, like you said, let's just take a step back and look at it real good. Like,
yeah,
okay, sis was right. Sis was right.
yeah. Like at the end of the day, most of the times they have your best interests at heart. You know, if you are willing to open up to them, you know, which is the hardest part. It's not like we out here saying that that's easy. It's not for the weak. You have to be
Mhm.
strong within yourself.
And you have to know your circle. You have to know that it is a safe space to, bear it all. So when you bear it all, you both can look at it. And I know for me, there is a no judgment zone when it comes to talking to me. Now, I'm big on accountability. I'm big on being the accountability partner, because if you told me that this was your goal and this was, what you were setting out to become in life, I want to see you reach your highest peak and
Yeah.
beyond. So why not keep you accountable? Why not allow you to keep me accountable? Because there's a lot of stuff that I try to say that I'm gonna do for myself, and I venture off because, like I said, I feel like sometimes I feel like I be helping everybody and then forget about me. So keep me accountable when you see me slacking on what I said I was gonna do for me.
Yeah. Like remember yourself, okay? Did you feed yourself today? Okay, did you finish all those projects that you have for yourself? You take all
Okay.
those projects you have for everybody else, and I want you to take them. I want you to put them on the shelf right over there, right? And then I want you to make sure that you are taking care of yours. All right.
Right. And I feel
Okay.
like that's how conversations should definitely be, to make you remember what your why was. And that's my favorite question. What is your why? Your team should always be reminding you what your why is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what is your why, ma'am?
Oh man. I'm in the middle of a transition right now when it comes to what it is that I think that it is that makes me feel passionate. Right now, the thing that I'm passionate about is my spiritual health. And that's pretty much just where I've been, is just chasing this feeling of connectedness with the universe and the people around me, and the just life experience and learning and growth that can come from that. And it can feel like you are a little bit crazy sometimes, because you're focused so much on what it is that you are doing that you're hyper focused, you know what I mean? Like I know 100% when I have done something wrong, because I can feel it in my spirit
Oh,
before. Right? So 100% just focusing on that and letting that be my passion.
okay. I love it. I love it. Like I can definitely, look, again, since we've been connected at the hip since we was little, I can see the calmness now, the balance that is becoming you. Like my girl was a hothead. She used to be a hothead. And like this, like look at her. She looks so serene and calm right now.
I mean,
I love it.
it's a process, and don't get me twisted, okay? Because I will definitely still allow myself to snap if I have reached the end of my period of sanity, okay?
Yeah,
because boy, when I tell you, and when that happens, I'm not happy with who I am.
man.
Right. But that it's all about me making those times less of a time and also observing those times so that I know, okay, obviously somebody had you messed up. Okay. Somebody had you
Hmm.
messed up. So now, how did they have you messed up? And how can we avoid that happening to you again? Or when it's happening to you, recognizing that you don't want that in your life anymore, you know?
Right, right.
Mhm.
Okay, I love it. So yeah, I have shared my cupcake with y'all enough for today. We're gonna wrap it up, but I will say I give you a chance to help the people get to know me. Ask me anything. One question. What do you feel like they need to know about me?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, one question for you. You did not prepare me for this. You just put me on the spot. Give you one question out of all of the, I'm an inquisitive person, and
Yes.
that's the hard part. I'm gonna say, what is the thing that motivates you to, especially on your bad days when you have gotten up, because there have been times when it's been bad for you, when you've gotten up and you've gotten to the money, you've gotten to the goal at the end of the day. What was the thing that motivated you?
Ooh. Um, I'm a visual person, so when you have like that bar, that progress bar,
Mm-hmm.
I have to see the end of it. I have to. Like, I don't know if that's an OCD thing or I don't know what it is. I have to. Like, even like at the beginning of this week, I made a checklist. And you know how in your notes you can check them off. I
Mm-hmm.
love seeing those green bubbles saying that I completed it. So knowing that I completed it, I feel like, I guess, video games, when we used to play video games, getting
Mm-hmm.
to the next level. So
Yeah.
I like knowing that I leveled up.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, that was a good
I
that
love
was a good one.
that. I'm glad that I could.
All right, y'all. Again, I have shared my cupcake with y'all. Don't y'all get greedy. Now, you are always welcome on here whenever you would like to come back. You got something that you want to say, you want to bring to the squad. We are here. Just let me know, all right?
All righty.
It's for y'all people. Y'all know what to do. If anybody has any ideas, you want to be a guest, you got music that you want to, put out into the world, hit me up at the email that's scrolling below. That's kaylee.baent@gmail.com. And, until next time, squad, keep it bossy, keep it saucy, and don't forget to tell your girl how you bossy. Bye.